Hello, thanks for joining me today. This is Danny and welcome back to my modded 1.10.2 series. I am here in my little amplified magical RFTools dimension. Just thinking about whether or not this is where I want to do some building. In this episode, we're going to be getting ready to build kind of a magical build, a place for us to kind of clean up our mess that we have in that. Oh, look at that, there's a dimlet building up there. To kind of clean up the mess that we have in our back by our base where all our magic stuff is, just kind of scattered about. And the only problem with this particular world is that because it's amplified, moving around is really laggy. So I'm actually wanting to make a world similar to this one, but not amplified. And I know the fact that it's amplified is one of the things that makes it so freaking cool. But it also, I don't know, it might be a little bit too painful to try to build and explore and stuff here. Just because, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it's stuttering a little bit as I'm traveling. If I stay in one spot and for the building and stuff like that, it's not going to be so bad. Oh, there's another one down there. But I would really like to get a dimension that doesn't lag so much when I move around, and maybe one that doesn't have the dimlet buildings. I'm still trying to figure out, trying to find the no dimlet buildings dimlet, because I don't want these dimlet buildings in our dimension that we're gonna be playing. I mean, they're great for, we still have that bug, huh? They're great for, like, you know, finding dimlets and stuff, but we've got enough dimensions that have dimlet buildings that if we want to find dimlets, we've got plenty places to find them, and we don't need these buildings scattered all over a world that we're going to be basically, that we basically want to be kind of an aesthetic world, you know, one that looks nice for the build that we want to do. Oh, this is so cool. I love that how the biomes are mixed like that in this with this controller. Yeah, yeah, the lag is way too bad. Especially when I go into areas that I haven't explored yet, and I haven't been off in that direction yet, so it's a little rough. So we'll see. We're going to do a little dimension building at the beginning of the episode, and then after that, we're going to kind of get things set up. I don't think we're going to get too deep into the build, but we're going to do some dimension building. And then we're going to play around with refined storage, remote, or whatever it's called. There's the remote storage thing in refined storage. And you might see I was looking at Draconic Evolution stuff. We are going to start playing with that soon. I already explored that. And also I don't want these temples around either. Oh, I love this world though. It's so cool. I'm running around collecting dimlets. I've sent quite a few back home already, but I got a filtered controller. That's awesome. I'm probably not going to use that today, but that allows us to basically pick the biomes that we want and filter. Did I meet those already? Yeah, I was already there. And basically give it a list of biomes that are going to be allowed. I finally got it. I got a magical controller dimlet. Hooray! I've got a terrain absorber absorbing the normal terrain here. Ugh, this friggin' rain. There's no weather absorber yet though, so I can't craft a no weather dimlet, and I haven't got one. So unfortunately, oh wait, what's this? Oh, weakness. Okay. Oh, I need do I have an effect? None. This is what I've got so far. We've got water and stone for our terrain, and once this guy's done, we'll have a normal terrain. It's actually fairly fast. I just set this down a little while ago, and you can see how quickly the numbers are going up, so we won't have to wait forever. So since RFTools is going to randomly pick a mob for us and fill our world with it, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and get us some witch essence so that we can tell it that we want witches in our world. I mean, yeah, witches are a pain in the butt, but I think it would kind of make sense to have witches in our magical world, right? So like this, and it took the syringe out of, oh look at that, it took the syringe out of our inventory when we double clicked on it, and we now have Mob Dimlet Witch. Oh. So there's the pyramids. This one's made out of dirt. Is it all dirt? I probably should have slept before we came here. Yep, it's all dirt. Interesting. You know what? Let me go sleep and then we'll come back. Oh, this just isn't as cool as the amplified. Alright, here's another one. Okay. Turns out it was the witches that were costing us so much RF, 3,000 RF per tick. I removed them, and fortunately we got lucky and we didn't get any extra mobs. So we just got this. And I think the sun is stuck there, because the celestial angle is 0.2. I guess that's maybe okay. I don't want dimlet buildings though, but we can just destroy the dimlet buildings all around our build, I guess. This just isn't as cool as the amplified one. I created another amplified world. It's still not as cool as that other one though, but this is really neat. This is the Ominous Woods. That is so cool. Oh man, I really like this spot actually. Now that, and this is the roof forest down here. We could build here. Well, after all that screwing around, I've decided I'm going back to my original spot anyway. I just really like this spot. The only thing I don't like about this world is that we do have endermites here as an extra mob, but I rarely see them, so I guess it's not really much of a problem. So we'll just stick with this world, and we've got those. But we can. I'm gonna bring the builder here, the RFTools Builder, and do some terraforming, some like large-scale terraforming. Because this is a little weird right here. I want to kind of flatten, level some of this area out a little bit, so that we're kind of on a little plateauy hill, but lower than all the surrounding terrain, so that we're kind of in a valley, like on a little hill in a valley. So that's the plan. So next thing I want to do is I want to start getting into refined storage. Remote network transmitter and network receiver, which is going to allow us to access our refined storage stuff remotely from here. We're going to have to make a network transmitter and a network receiver. The two recipes require the exact same resources, just upside down from each other. So we're going to end up needing 6 of the advanced processors. Those are the diamonds, and then the destruction and construction cores. We'll need 2 of those. So that is the transmitter. This is the receiver, and then we're also going to need a card. A network card, which requires another advanced processor. And a bunch of quartz enriched iron. There we go. And then the way this works is we set down the network receiver, and we right click on it with the network card, and then our network transmitter has to be connected to our network that has the controller. So here's our controller, it's connected to this network, so we can just stick it anywhere. Oh boy, I've got I've got a mess here with these. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I've got pipes up here, whatever. We'll just stick it up here. Whatever. So there's our, so we stick our network transmitter in there. 13 blocks, really? Is that all? 13 blocks? That's crazy. Oh no, it's telling us that it's 13 blocks away. Okay, so now if we were to make a grid, for instance, and put it right there, we will see that it is connected to our network. Hooray! Now if we move this guy somewhere else, so we've got our refined storage system is kind of spread all over the place, and I've been using cables to go from place to place, which works. It works fine, and plus it's free. It doesn't cost us any extra RF to have the extra table or the extra cables, although it does cost extra RF to have the network transmitter and network receiver. Let's say we put this right here, and we'll put our grid on top of it, and then we take the network card and we click on it again, so it has a new dimensions now. I don't think we need to shift click. I think it, no, okay. So it has new dimensions now. But as you can see, it's out of the render distance of this. However, this area is chunk loaded. It does have to be chunk loaded, of course. If it's not chunk loaded, then your refined storage system, it will not be operating and you won't be able to access it. So obviously, so it says it's 263 blocks away. Whoa, and I'm getting some crazy freaking lag now. Aha. That's what the problem is. Okay. So this requires a lot of RF, and it's going to require more and more RF depending on how far away it is. In fact, when we start getting into other dimensions, it's going to cost us 1,000 RF per tick, or the equivalent of whatever you're using. And in my case, I'm using RF. So these pipes aren't going to do the trick, but I happen to have an enhanced energy conduit right there, so we can remedy this. Make some adjustments down there with the piping and such, because we were running into a bottleneck. So 1,441 RFs per tick. That is crazy, which translates 1-to-1 to RF. What? Wow. Why? Network receiver is taking 15 RF per tick. Where's the network transmitter? The network transmitter is taking 11. What? That is insane. Holy crap. And that's just going 263 blocks away. Wow. So be aware that the further away you place that thing, the more RF it's going to take. This isn't really even that far. That's nuts. So, but anyway, we have access to our refined storage system out here. Hooray! That's that's what we're going after. So let's just let's get rid of this. Now, if we want to go, this will only work within the dimension. If we want to go across dimensions, we're going to have to get an upgrade for it. And it might be a good idea to switch this thing to only work with the redstone signal or something like that, so that you can switch it. So that you can switch it on and off. Because now, if we look, we'll see we're only taking 320 RF per tick. Interdimensional upgrade. So we need, of course, our regular upgrade, and then we're going to need another star and a redstone. And we're going to have to bring that with us. Going to set up our network receiver. And then we are going to link this to that. Now we have to come all the way back here so we can put the card in there. And then we're just going to turn this on. It's going to lag for a second. And then let's just see how much power we're using now. 1,300. We're actually using less power. What the heck is that all about? Crazy. I mean, not that I'm complaining that we're using less power, but so when you're cross dimension, you have a flat, okay, it's 1,050 RS per tick. So it adds 1,000 to the base cost of 50. So now we've got an extension of our network out there. Basically, we can put anything in that network that we could put in any other part of the network. Yay! Okay, now it's working. Nice. We can put a wireless transmitter out here. We can do everything out here that we can do as if we're connected to the network, because we are connected to the network. Hooray! So now what I want to do is I want to get my builder. I'm going to get rid of this thing. So check this out. Check out how easy we can make this. Take our shape card. We're going to start up here. We're going to go down there. Put that in there, and then get two of you. Hey. The other one ran away. It's like, I don't want to get hit. I don't want to die. And then we need a lever. Hey. That takes care of that. Holy crap. Where are these guys all coming from all of a sudden? Oh, it doesn't pick up the chests. There we go. Oh, what about this area? Oh, crap. Now there's one issue with this. Oh, that's right, because it does one chunk at a time. Okay. One issue with our network receiver now is that we can't move it. If we move it, we're going to lose, it's going to lose the link. So if we move this, we're going to have to relink it again, which we will, because obviously I'm not going to keep it up there because I've decided that this is about the level that I want to build at. Oh, let's get rid of that dimlit building. Ready? Oh, weird. Oh, that was weird. I kept the item frames there. And then they ticked and they were like, hey, we're just floating there. And then they, yeah. I've also decided I do not want this floating island up here. And floating islands are kind of cool, but nah. Let's just get rid of this one. You know, skeleton, I'm not going to kill you. You know why? Because I'm going to let you suffer. As I destroy the ground that you're standing on. This is going to be fun to watch with all these mobs up here. Ready? Here we go. Oh, wait. Hey, why did it stop there? I must not have gone down far enough. And you know, we don't have to keep moving the builder block. We can do it from here. Look at that! So we can do more than just destroy stuff with the builder using a shape card and some blocks. Whoa! Holy crap, did we run out already? Oh my god. That's 4 stacks right there? Or however many stacks I had. Wow, that's craziness. Good thing we have access to all our stuff. You know, it's projects like these. Oh, it doesn't break the lavender? I wonder if the leaf blower would. From, actually, additions. Anyway, it's projects like these where all the work that we've been doing up until this point kind of comes together for us. Because we're like using all these cool tools that we've worked so hard to get. And we can do different shapes. I'm going to try, I'm using a sphere. And I'm tweaking the dimensions because I'm trying to get it to give us kind of a hill here. Where it kind of slopes off. Where this little kind of grove down here is going to end up in a valley below our area. And then we can go like this to see what it's going to do. Okay, is that at the right level? I want that to be one down from here so that we can put grass on top of it. Because I'm just going to fill this area in with a bunch of garbage blocks like stone and... yeah, this actually might work. We might have to get rid of that tree. Actually, I want it to go further in that direction. Or we'll just fill... I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to kind of flatten this out over here, but we'll do that. We'll use a different method for that. By the way, this thing does tell us how many blocks it's going to take. And it's saying 74,116. Oh god. Actually, it's not going to take quite that much though, because it's assuming that entire sphere, and we're really only doing like half of the sphere. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use like the silty dirt, which we got a ton of now. And I'm going to use like andesite and basically that kind of stuff. Andesite and diorite, and probably throw some stone in there, and maybe even some crag rock, which I think we've got a ton of too now. This is a really good way to get rid of blocks that you don't care about anymore. Oh, we go. Nice. There, we got rid of all the ugliest blocks that we own. And now we can cover them up. For more precision shaping, we can do this. Oh my gosh, this was a lot of work. And you know, these guys, they're not so bad. They only spawn when everybody else spawns at night, so as long as I keep this place fairly spawn safe, I won't have to worry too much about those guys. So I almost spent this entire episode terraforming. Well, actually that's not entirely true. I spent a lot of time looking for a spot, and then I ended up just building one instead. And I ended up back where I started. Like I don't know how much time I spent. I made a whole new world. Actually, I made a couple new worlds, and I was looking around for a good spot to build, and then I just ended up coming back to this very same spot where I started this video. Right here. Actually, I think I was over here a little bit. Somewhere around here where there used to be like a ledge. And I was probably standing about this high, talking about what we're going to do today. And I pretty much did everything I was planning on doing today. But I ended up coming back to this spot. This is all going to be grass in the future, instead of this. Like, it's going to be like grass instead of this silty grass, which I'm not real crazy about the silty grass. So I'm kind of glad that I did this project anyway, because then we were able to have a nice grassy area instead of a silty grass area. So my plan with this build, I still want to do a little bit of work on some of the features. Oh, this, by the way, is a Sacred Plains. I mean, Sacred Plains. Sacred... Oh, look, it's another one of these guys. We can tear that down with our builder if we want. I think I already looted that one. But this is Sacred Springs. So we actually have, I think, just about every biome within sight of this spot. Like every magical biome within sight of this spot. We've got a very tiny bit of ominous woods right here somewhere. Which is why this tree grew. These are actually pretty cool trees. Check this out. I moved my receiver, my network receiver. I've got my network transmitter set up here to only work with redstone signal. And I've got a redstone receiver here. Guess where the redstone transmitter is? It is in that dimension. So what's great about this is we can turn off this network transmitter and turn it on when we're in that dimension, which means that we don't have to waste power while we're out there. Or when we're not there. So right now we're only using 320 RS per tick because that thing is not taking any power. So if we go here, we can see I moved my matter receiver. We can see this thing is off right now, even though that it's not set to ignore redstone signal. I mean, even though it's set to ignore redstone signal. But because the network transmitter is turned off right now. But here is our network transmitter. Here is our redstone transmitter. Boom. Ta-da! So we are now sucking 1,000 RF per tick on the other end, and then a little bit for these two. And what's great about it is because these, when we turn that off, these are no longer a part of the network, so they won't be using RF. You got a nice flat area here to build. Guess what I'm gonna build? I'm gonna build a town. Why the heck am I building another town? Well, I'll tell you in a second. This idea popped into my head, and I think it's pretty cool. I do plan on doing a tower too. I know I believe a couple people had suggested even that I build like some kind of a magical tower. I may do that on one end, or I may even do it off on one of the mountainsides so that it'll be kind of overlooking the town. But here, check out this idea for the town. Let's just say my idea was inspired a little bit by the world of a popular young wizard that you may have read about, and maybe you've watched his movies about him as well. But this is what I'm thinking. So, you know, here's our normal everyday town, right? With normal everyday people like this guy. Oh, I can't seem to get back into the thing, but we can talk about that another time. And And there's this interesting little bar at the end of the road that nobody really pays much attention to, a little saloon. It's kind of an old-fashioned saloon, and you go inside, and it looks normal enough, although some of the patrons may seem a little strange. I mean, they wear strange clothes and everything else. And there's going to be a room in the back, a little room in the back that's going to have a brick wall that you can just walk right through. And when you come out on the other side of the brick wall, you're going to end up in another bar that looks just like this. And you're going to be like, oh, look, it's another bar. And then you're going to go outside, but you're going to realize that something's different. You're in a completely different place. But it looks kind of the same. We've got buildings along the side here, just like here. We've got another little town that looks almost exactly like this one, except it's a little different. The buildings are a little bit more mysterious looking, a little bit more mystic. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I haven't thought exactly how I'm going to do this build yet, but it's going to be a magical world, basically. So what's going to happen, in reality, what's going to happen is you're going to end up teleporting when you're back here, and then I'm going to build another town that looks very similar to this one, possibly with some help from the Schematica mod. Yes, No Wired Gaming. I did add the Schematica mod, along with quite a few others. So that's kind of my plan for possibly the next episode. I don't know if it's going to be the next one or possibly the one after that, because I did add quite a few mods to the pack. We have extreme reactors now. We have roots. We have roots now, which I may or may not play with roots. We'll see. This is one of those mods that just never really appealed much to me. Although, I don't know. We'll see. But there's a lot of mods that didn't appeal to me at first. Like even Britannia. I had no intention of ever getting into Britannia. And look at me now. I'm like totally loving Britannia. And even Thaumcraft, actually. Like, I used to hate Thaumcraft. I thought it was like, well, I don't know about hate, but it was just one of those mods that I was like, I don't want to get into that. Too much busy work, just too much weird, magical, mysticky stuff. But yeah, I'm all about that kind of stuff now. But I do like my tech mods. So yeah, we're gonna have kind of a parallel universe over there, a parallel dimension that will be very similar to this one, at least this area. And of course, the surrounding area will be totally different because we have that, cool, amplified, magical backdrop. But yeah, maybe we'll have a greenhouse over there that'll be like our Britannia greenhouse. That I'm not rebuilding. Sorry, but yeah, this ain't gonna happen. That would be way too much. Oh, though, you know what I might put in its place? I also got suggestions to build the magical tower. Maybe that would be where we put the magical tower. That's a thought. I'll have to think about that. I don't know if we'll have equivalents to these buildings. I mean, these are... We'll see. I mean, it would be kind of cool to just replicate this whole town. And with the use of Schematica, I'd still have to gather all the resources because Schematica does... I mean, it's not cheaty. It doesn't let you cheat. It just... it basically gives you an overlay so that you can place the blocks and then you can just click to place the blocks. And it'll place the blocks for you, but it'll take them out of your inventory, so... Oh, and yes, also by somewhat popular demand, and perhaps at first against my better judgment, I decided to add Vein Miner. However, I'm not making it too easy for you guys, because I also added... I was actually waiting for this to come out, but I also added Vein Miner mod integration. This is a mod that modifies Vein Miner so that you have to have an enchant. It adds a Vein Miner enchant, and you have to have that enchant in order to vein mine. So you can't just make some cheap vanilla pickaxe and go vein mining. You actually have to get the enchant. And there's also it also adds a Tinker's modifier as well. It's pretty cheap. It's just glowstone. It's like 8 glowstone, and then you get Vein Miner on your Tinker stuff. In fact, I did it just for experimentation. I put it on my axe and on my Tinker's pickaxe, and it worked out pretty nicely. Oh, and of course, FTB utils. We've got that as well, which will be very helpful when we get on the server. Schematica may also be pretty helpful on the server, although I have found that when you're moving schematics, at least with MC Edit, when you're moving schematics from one world to another, the modded blocks don't always map properly. So we'll see. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or if you have any comments or just want to say hello or whatever. Of course, I do enjoy chatting with you guys, as you probably already know. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to click the like button. Thanks for watching.